down to dunk.
And I'm down to dunk. I'm down to dunk.
This is J-Dub, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lindy Waters, and I'm down to dunk. I'm Mike Muscala, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Kenneth Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to dunk.
We say this is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
Cracklin Oat Bran?
Have you had Cracklin Oat Bran?
No,
No. Okay.
but it's healthy.
Are you a big oat brand guy?
I'm a big Oat Bran guy.
Okay.
I think I would switch it with Fruity Pebbles.
Okay, eat faster. Don't put as much in the bowl.
Do you have a gallon of milk I can also take home?
You don't have milk in there?
One cinnamon toast.
Okay.
Crunch. Yeah. Cereal is great. Yeah.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me on this Friday is Taylor.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom.
Got it. Jay's going to just smoke you this
Braveheart.
season. Yeah, you just missed it. Dang. Who said it first? I think we'll give it to Jay.
And Jay.
That's a movie. It's Jay. That's a movie that I loved, but just everything with Mel Gibson makes me wonder if I should or should not love it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Sorry, that's me
Yeah,
actually
that's good.
sending
I
you
can
a text
fix
message.
I can
for the
fix it
text.
for you.
Huh?
I can fix that for you. When you want to watch Braveheart, watch Dragonheart instead.
Is that there were two movies about dragons that came out roughly around the same time.
Really?
One of them had Christian Bale, Matthew
Oh
McConaughey.
no, Dragonheart came out some years
More
before.
animated.
Yeah, Sean Connery was the voice of the dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it how
The voice
similar?
of the dragon.
Yes.
How similar is Dragonheart and Braveheart? Is it
Very
just the
similar.
Word, just the word heart?
Yeah, but it's still pretty similar.
Both searching for freedom.
Both in the same.
Both blue faces.
Oh wait, what's the dragon blue
No.
in Dragonheart?
All right.
It's funny you say this. Last night, I'm one of my rhythms is to go through my news feed
Yeah.
and just look at things. And Reddit had a whole thread on underrated movies that were poorly rated that
Oh,
are actually good. Dragonheart on the
Yep.
list.
really?
Actually, good. Yeah,
Wow.
I
Yeah.
think it's Sean Connery's best work.
The best week for the Oklahoma City Thunder in 4 years, 3 years.
I mean, since definitely the Chris Paul year. Was there a week this good? Yeah, there was with the mellow Thunder.
yeah, right there, right pre Robertson's.
Just if you just pause it right before Robertson gets
Robertson's
hurt, I
injury.
think that we made a full week of good basketball back then.
It was. I don't know. Like we were talking about it before the podcast, like how you can tell that things are different is how much national media attention this run is getting.
Yeah,
It's-
specifically just Shai.
yeah.
Like I don't know that anybody else would know how to talk about the rest of the Thunder.
I will say, Lowe is already moving past. It's not just Shai. Look at the Thunder's core young players and stuff.
Oh, I
He
hadn't
said
heard
that
that
on the NBA, whatever the NBA show on ESPN is.
NBA Today.
Yes, yesterday. He
Is
said
that what it's called?
I don't know.
I think it's NBA Jam.
The one with him and Perk and Vince
Yeah.
Carter. And
You're gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah.
shocked I don't watch it.
Wow.
I just happen to have it on.
Well, if they're talking about Shai, and that's what I
Well-
start doing, I'm definitely at the point in my life where I start hunting out SGA content.
Yeah.
It's like Bill Simmons talks about SGA. So,
Mhm.
of course, I'm like, well, I don't ever listen to Bill Simmons.
Give me the
podcast.
timestamp.
Yep,
Let's go.
exactly. Which they do, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's well deserved. This has been a epic week, which just really continues an epic run in the first 14 games of the season.
Can you believe that shot that he hit against
No.
the Wizards?
Well, and my favorite thing is I don't know if you could tell, and I think this is what he was saying, but he was yelling at everybody, one stop.
Oh, he's 1
Once-
second. He's saying 1
Was it
second.
1 second? Okay.
Yeah, 1 second.
In my
Is-
mind, I was like, he was referring back to that Bucks game.
Yes,
where
he
it's
was.
like,
That's exactly what he was referring
like,
to.
surely we can do this.
Yeah, we're not doing this again.
And then he mentioned that exact moment in the post-game interview with Nick Gallo.
Yes, and then like Lou Dort even said after the game, like I was not going to make that mistake again. Like I was not going to foul. He was like, I did. I think he said I kind of fouled at the end of that Bucks game, but I'm not going to foul again.
Fouled just enough to get it called.
The play was perfect though. If you watch Lou at the end, and it's like it's definitely not like the highlight play, but you watch Lou, he almost you just wonder if he knew the play that they were running because he got to the spot almost before the
nailed
Wizards,
Mhm.
Player did, and just had his arms just straight up. It's almost like when you're like I've got kids in basketball right now, and it's like you're just screaming at them, just arms straight up in the air, and it was just perfect.
It's how you wish. This is a wounded reference, to be honest with you, but it's really how you wish the Oklahoma defensive backs played the ball.
Yeah.
Like it was the perfect way.
Yeah.
Like no contact, put your hands in the air because he could clearly see that the ball was coming to Beal.
Yeah.
Just by watching his body language because he didn't even turn around. He just put his arms in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but it was.
You think Lou Dort would use his eligibility to come back to go play at OU?
Yeah, I
for a
think
little
he
bit?
would give up those millions of dollars to go play a amateur kind of.
He could get on a car commercial or something.
He 100% could play in football. Just pick a position.
Yeah.
Lou.
So Shai,
give it to me.
It blew my mind whenever I saw this after the game that he's 32, 4.5 rebounds, 5.6 or 5.9 assists, 1.9 steals, 1.4 blocks, but he's 50, 40, 90 right now.
Mm-hmm.
That to me was just like the moment where it's like, holy smokes. Like I knew he was really high up in field goal percentage. I just didn't know his threes had ticked up. He actually missed 5 free throws to bring
I was about to say
his free throw percentage down, and they were giving him trouble about it after the game. But the fact that he's 32 points, 50, 40, 90 with, over 3 steals and blocks, like that's crazy. Like nobody does that. Like nobody has done that since Michael Jordan. So we were talking about this before the pod. Is like everybody wanted to dub Andrew Wiggins Maple Jordan, but it's time to hand that over to Shai.
Yeah.
He is like the true Maple Jordan, 6'6" guard that does all the things that he does, like leads his team. Like this is the Maple Jordan of the NBA.
And Jay, you were talking about we don't just bring up Michael Jordan randomly. There is
You can't bring it up casually.
Yeah,
you have to. Yeah, you can't just say it.
And the reason, Jay, you brought it up because it's like no one has scored this efficiently shooting this few of threes.
Yeah, not even efficiently. It's the amount of points that Shai is scoring without being dependent on 3-pointers. And especially in this era of the NBA, it's an anomaly. Like DeRozan is the guy that everybody naturally goes to.
Boom.
I know. But Shai is just doing it on a level. I mean, this is statistically like he's doing it on a level that hasn't been seen since like Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Because he's shooting 40% from 3, but he's only taking, it's like 2.3.
2.9, yeah.
Oh, 2.9 threes a game?
Yeah, almost 3.
And it's looking better.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty big threes.
It's a weapon. I mean, he hit the 2-step back threes. He hit the one to get the lead in that game, and then the other one to win the game. I mean, that's the thing is that I was saying like earlier in the season was like he's got to take them just to show that it's a weapon, just to show that you have to guard me here too. And it was Law Murray that said this on the Daily Ding the other day. He was like, everybody says we have these 3-level players. He's like, Shai is really a 4-level scorer because he can score 3-point mid-range at the rim, but he's also getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, 17 times against the Wizards.
Yeah, with regularity. He's like, that to me is like, that's your 4.
Which he was frustrated, like visibly frustrated that he missed those 5 free throws against because he's shooting. I mean, he was shooting before that, like
he's crushing
95%.
Yeah, can you imagine? I mean, I'd be horrifically frustrated too. Even if I like hit the game winner or everything, like you look back at like, gosh, like I was about to like set some kind of record for like free throw percentage here.
Would it be that it's not that unfathomable to see Shai getting 50 points here in the next couple months?
Oh, no
Just
way.
the way he's scoring, it's like
He could have had 50 already.
if he was a little bit more.
If he wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
But he is really, while doing all of this, really trying to trust his teammates and really trying to play the game the right way. You know, he's not taking a crazy amount of shots. I mean, that to me is one of the things that is pretty amazing because he's far and away the best player. He could be having a year like Kobe did, you know, where he takes like 35 shots a game or whatever. But he is invested in making this team and these players better around him, which not everybody would do this.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could argue like he should just go hog wild all season because he knows that Chet's coming back next year. And then like, oh yeah, okay, then we can invest in, you know, the development of these players or, you know, invest in the development between Chet and I. But he really does care about the team and the team wanting to, like, this team becoming a championship contender somewhere down the road, and understands like there's a vision here with what we're trying to do. And so like that is also very unique. Like we talk about like how unique his stat lines are and his play is and how he can only be compared to MJ. Like, oh, that's great. But he also just has the attitude that like if Sam Presti could have inserted some kind of like chip into his brain for him to think this way, like this would be the way he would want him to think.
Yeah.
You know, because it is still like very team oriented. It's crazy to think about. And this is somebody that is going to be in Oklahoma City for a long time. This is somebody that they are building around him. We're hitting this point where some people don't know how to talk about the Thunder. They just have no idea how to talk about the Thunder because they haven't had to for years unless it's around the draft.
Yeah.
And they don't have any clue what to say. So they just regurgitate takes that they had from 2 years ago and say, oh, well, they brought picks. I think they want the picks, you know, and it's just like, that is not it. That is wrong. They have been building around Shai for a while, and this is their guy. He signed a 5-year contract with the Thunder, and the Thunder, without a doubt, should want him to be their centerpiece.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny too, just speaking to that, because when I see people right now trying to figure out, okay, what else besides Shai can I say about the Thunder? Poku keeps coming up a lot from national people, which is fun. It's true. I mean, Poku's been really good.
He's been good,
but it's just funny. It's like, how is it Shai, and then your next smart guy step is Poku? Not coach, not Degnault, not Lou Dort, who's been on this team the second longest amount of time.
Yeah,
it's because Poku is the
weirdest looking guy on the team, and he just sticks out like a sore thumb. Like let's just be honest about what happens when he's on the court. You cannot help but watch him.
Right, he's magnetic.
Yeah,
and I will say this: he is. I mean, you want to talk about they lost that Detroit game.
Yeah, that was bad.
Which they should have won because Detroit's not very good.
That feels impossible now.
It really does.
How did they do that? How did they swing a loss there?
And the significant difference is that the Thunder didn't have Poku.
They didn't have Poku.
Like, I don't know what it is. I mean, I do. He's the X factor for this team.
Mm-hmm. He is.
It's just like such a funny statement because it's true. I mean, he's averaging almost 2 blocks per game.
That's been the thing this year. Is
what's the shooting splits now?
I'm almost afraid to say them out loud.
Dude, say them out. Hold on. Can I guess them?
Yeah.
And this isn't really a guess.
Yeah.
I think it's 46% from the field.
It's better than that.
47.
47.2% from the field.
39.
39. You know that. That was my that one. That was my hot take or my bold prediction before the season.
Which felt bold.
It felt dumb. Everybody made me feel so dumb after I said it.
It was a good bold take though.
I considered I considered going in and deleting it because I was just beaten to a pulp afterwards, and I was like, no, I'm going to leave it in.
Yeah,
I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah, that's the point of bold prediction.
It did feel impossible though.
It felt
It felt
impossible.
it felt so dumb.
And here we are, 14 games in. It's like, okay, well, he's figured it out.
Yeah, because we're transitioning from small sample size theater to maybe a decent size sample theater. Like we always say, 20 games.
We moved theaters.
I didn't even, and I'm really trying to kind of figure out whether or not I should call it the relatively significant, somewhat bigger sample size theater.
I think you're
workshopping that.
Let's
name.
wait until after tonight's game.
Let me stew on it a little bit.
We're still in small sample size
Okay,
theater
small
though.
sample.
Yeah, we haven't changed theaters yet.
Okay, just make it. I'm just workshopping the next season of that.
I mean, he's 18 of 46 from 3.
I mean,
he misses.
that's a decent amount, though.
I think the only mistake though is he needs to shoot more. He should be at 90 by now. I'm just saying it.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I disagree.
Lou Dort's almost to 90.
I know.
Yeah, Lou Dort, of course.
So Shai has been far and away the best player on the team this year. It's not even close. If he's a tier 1, then we don't have a tier 2. Do we have a tier 3? I don't know. Who's been the second best player on the Thunder this season?
Before you go there, and we can move on from
Okay.
Shai, I just wanted to drop these in.
Drop it.
Right now, Shai is a top 5 player. I think he's a top 5 player of the season.
He's been playing. There are very few players that have played better than him.
Yeah. So
Luka, Giannis,
and
Steph
has been very, very good. I think that he's played like a top 5 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's top 5 in points per game, obviously, steals, PER, win shares. And by the way, that's not, yes, his offensive win shares are holding him up 3rd in offensive win shares, but he's still 18th in defensive win shares.
He's been improved on the defensive end. He cares about the defensive end this year.
Box plus minus, obviously, and then value over replacement player.
Yeah, that's wild. It's
like
so
you don't
crazy.
even have to dig that deep to see that he's a top guy. Like he's gotten to that level where you can just look at the basic leaderboards and be like, yeah, that's one of the best players in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been unbelievable.
And game winners.
So out of all of these players that shoot worse for the Oklahoma City Thunder from the 3-point line than Poku, which one is the most surprising? Okay.
Like good surprising?
Like, so Poku is the 5th best 3-point shooter percentage wise for the Thunder.
He is?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, things have gotten wild in the last week.
Okay, so these
my
guys
God.
are shooting a worse percentage from the 3-point line. And tell me if you're surprised by it or not. Darius Bazley.
No.
No, not surprised.
Okay. Aaron Wiggins.
Slightly surprised.
Slightly surprised. Trey Mann.
Yes.
Surprised. Yeah, I would have said there's no chance that 33%.
is what Trey Mann shooting from the 3-point line. More attempts.
He's going to get, and he'll get better.
Yeah.
He'll be better.
Mike Muscala.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm
surprising.
surprised.
Yeah, he's in a slump.
Poku is shooting better than Mike Muscala. Kenrich Williams. Obviously, Josh Giddey, not surprising.
Kenrich has not shot the ball well.
He played better in that Wizards game.
I know. He also has taken some slightly dumb shots so far this season.
He's trying to find his mojo.
There's some stuff that he does that I don't feel like he did in the past. Where I'm like, what is he doing? What's
He's
Kenrich?
trying too hard.
find it. He's
What's
trying to
Kenrich
find
It
doing
is.
out
I
there?
think that's real.
It's Austin
Lindy
Powers
Waters.
situation.
It is. Lost my mojo. Lindy Waters.
Lindy.
Poku
He's barely
out-shooting
played,
Lindy.
though.
Yeah, how many shots has Lindy taken?
13.
from 3? Yeah.
He was really good
Instrumental
against the Wizards.
in that game. Where, I mean, I think if we would have been asked about Lindy last week, we would have buried him and say, like, yeah, he's toast. He's done. And then he plays, what did he play in that game? He played like 30 plus minutes in that game
Yeah.
and was really good.
Well, Isaiah Joe, I think it was one of
27 minutes.
you brought up when Isaiah Joe came in. It was like, okay, they're clearly trying to see, because he and Lindy Waters are like the same type of player.
Yeah, they are.
And they're trying to see who's going to win out, who's doing. And I was really surprised to see Lindy Waters get the minutes in that game.
Yeah, that's the thing about this roster is that Mark is going to let everybody have their chance.
Yeah.
You know, he's not going to bury somebody. Like, everybody's going to get a chance to play. Yeah.
Who are the top 5? So we have Shai, Poku.
You're not going to believe who number 1 is, and it's small sample size theater.
I know who it is. I'll see if Tayshawn knows because I read this yesterday.
Is it Jerry?
No,
He's number 2.
he's number 2. Yeah,
And
he's
shooting.
been legitimately good.
I
from
know. I
3.
said I just want to.
Yeah.
Every time he shoots, I said this 4 weeks ago.
You did.
Is I have the
Not
most
even that long
confidence.
ago.
I have the most confidence in JRE making his 3-pointers
Yeah.
out of anybody on the team. And you all were like, no, Wiggins and
I think I still feel that way.
that's my Cartman apparently.
Cartman,
See, I'm
Cartman
saying,
is
man, I
3
can't- I
Guys,
can't get
start
rid of
to
it.
start to listen to Jay. Every now and then he has a bit of Cartman that comes out.
Yep.
Yeah,
And you'll start hearing it.
Just a little bit of
Eric Cartman.
You do that on the pulpit sometimes. We're just
No,
like Cartman.
no. I'm very,
Be
very.
like, Jesus this, Jesus that.
I'm very
No,
refined.
I give
and-
you full credit for that Jeremiah take.
Thank you.
That's good stuff.
Yeah,
Who's number 1?
you're not going to get it.
Well, Isaiah Joe's top 5 too.
I'll
He's
give you
number
a hint.
3.
I'll give you a hint. He has braces.
Huh? One of our players has
I know.
braces.
I can see the name, and I'm still shocked.
He's got braces.
His first name is a
He's very smiley.
unique one.
Dort?
No,
Dort is shooting 28%.
I mean you
What?
know
The
that.
only
You know
player-
that.
I know,
You know
I
that
know,
he's
I
not
know, I
shooting
know.
better than Jeremiah.
I thought about. I'm trying to
let
imagine
me give
people
you
in
let me give you a little bit better context.
Who has braces?
This player has only shot 11 3-pointers for the season.
Oh, I know who this is. It's J Will.
Nope.
No,
J Dub.
Nope.
no.
J-Dub is shooting 7 of 25.
Oh!
I know.
I keep thinking of braces.
He
That's
played
really
in the.
sticky with me.
He played
Just
against.
tell me,
he played against.
just
Scoot,
tell
he
me,
played against
please
Scoot Henderson
believe
this
me.
week. He played against Scoot Henderson this week.
Also take some time in the G League.
Not with the team.
His name,
Just do it.
Eugene.
Too early.
Usually.
Oh, Marie.
Yeah.
shooting 54% from the 3-point line.
Yeah. Definitely not that kind of player at
Well,
all.
I think there was
6
one
of
game he
11.
was like 5 of 6.
It was
from
the
three.
only game. It was like the only game he played for the Thunder. What game
Yeah.
was that? It was the Raptors game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He led the team in scoring when they had eight guys in double figures.
I mean, the Raptors, come on, man. I know Pascal Siakam is incredible, but you can't let Eugene.
I mean, OG played. Scotty Barnes played.
The only guy that wasn't playing was Siakam, right?
Well, Fred got sick. Fred has been sick the last week or so. He tried to play.
Fred Katz.
Fred Katz has been
Giddey.
sick.
It
Unrelated.
just impacts- it
unrelated
just
to the
impacts
Raptors.
the whole league.
No, Fred VanVleet is sick, and so he played only a few minutes in that game. So, I mean, that was the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were really bad.
I saw on I saw on Twitter, rest in peace, the somebody posted a video of Scotty Barnes trying to get past somebody, and then somebody subtweeted it and whatever and said Scotty Barnes has got that Kendrick Perkins dribble package.
Oh,
man. That is sad. Okay, back to my question. Who do you think has been the second best player on the Thunder this year?
Oh, man.
I mean, I just said it, Eugene.
Eugene. Eugene in that game, yeah, he was awesome.
Gosh, man, I know Giddey is much maligned.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to not say him. I probably Lou is the right answer. Actually,
I mean, maybe he's had some brutal moments.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. Taylor, what's something in your life that you have as much of a green light
Mm-hmm.
to do as
Mint thin
Lou
Oreos.
as Lou apparently has
Those
to
are
do
so
whatever
good.
he wants
Yeah.
to on the offensive end?
Yeah, eating mint thin Oreos.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I fumble the cookie and it falls out on the ground. How you
Still
think?
gotta get it.
Sometimes to try to be like Lou, you take that mint and throw it against the wall as hard as possible.
Yeah,
just-
in my mouth.
No, he
And
just
I'm like,
takes
"Oh,
it
God."
and he just slams it and he just like hits himself in the
Yeah.
cheek or like hits
Yeah.
himself in the eye.
And I will. So to be fair to Lou, because he
Be
has
fair.
been wildly inefficient on offense.
Yeah.
But he is shooting a little bit better at the rim, I guess. But he is. It does seem like in moments that matter, he is playing that defense that we've been.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one-on-one
from him.
defense is still
He's still
the best.
he was great against Beal.
Which is
Yeah.
probably where I would say he is maybe the second best player for this team.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Giddey guy. Giddey's, I mean, we have questions about it later. Giddey is not as efficient as he could be. He was missing the floater, but it does feel like he turned the corner in that Knicks game.
Yeah.
Which I would say, like, just number one, giving Giddey the fact that he's still really young, but he also we forgot that he came back from the injury, and it took a few games for him to figure out how to fit back in.
Yeah.
And so I think that looking at him,
we're less than a week away from this.
Josh Giddey's like 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 he's doing whatever the heck he wants. Giddey, 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 Giddey. Triple, 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 triple double. Giddey, 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 Giddey. He's doing whatever the heck he wants.
That's great.
that's good. Thanks, Wally.
Wally Zerbiak. Oh my gosh.
Did he play for the Knicks?
No.
Why is he doing their after game?
He's got a job.
Yeah, you
he
think
probably
the Knicks surely have a player that's played for them that could be on their broadcast.
I mean, they do. They have players, but he did not play for them. But he's probably just like, hey, I'd love to live in New York.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get a job with the Knicks or the Nets? I mean, that's probably what it was. Yeah, I mean, Josh was awesome against the Knicks.
Awesome.
He was really good. The floater was falling. He had the triple double. I mean, we have to give this guy time. He just turned 20 years old. I feel like especially right now with like any NBA player, any NBA team, like we're like rushing to have like the definitive take on whoever it is. And like, I feel like Twitter and just the way that everything functions has like put us in a place where we have to know who they are and what they're going to be and what their trajectory is. And we have to know it now. And with Josh, it's unknown because you watched him last year and he was amazing last year through a lot of different stretches of the season. And this year he's had a slow start. He's had good games. He's had rough games. He didn't finish the game.
Defenses know how he
He
plays.
only played
now,
20
though.
minutes against the Wizards.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the scouting report is out
Yeah.
on Josh Giddey. And now it's on Josh to figure out how to play through that.
Mm-hmm.
So
And he is doing it. Like, to his credit, it doesn't take that many games for him to start making adjustments.
Yeah.
I think Alex brought this up, but that deal where he drives in and then does a half spin, that's like, okay, everyone knows.
Yeah, some of
what
those
to do.
turnovers that he was having. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's 14.5 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, per game.
Mhm.
Well, and especially a defense that is as good as Boston's was or is.
Yeah.
Like not trying to heap all of this on his shoulders, but Josh's turnovers were a huge part of what got Boston back into the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they turned the ball over like 13 times in like an 8-minute span. That really ended. I mean, that really ended.
That was
game.
it.
Yeah.
And Josh was a big part of that. He's been turning the ball over quite a bit. And, you ask, because the Thunder were like leading the league in assist to turnover ratio, and they had the least amount of turnovers in the NBA through like 10 games. And like we asked Mark about it, and he's like, honestly, not really trying to do that.
Mhm.
He's like, I'm actually trying to put guys in position to where we would probably have more turnovers than we should.
Mhm.
And so he didn't say this, but it felt like he was saying, yeah, this is way unsustainable. Like, this is not going to continue.
Mhm.
And Josh was like, yep,
Mhm.
definitely
But-
not going to continue.
This is what you expect from young NBA players. We saw it in the early years with Russ and KD. Every night it was 20 to 25 turnovers.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Especially with Russ early
Yeah.
on. It took him, and he still turned the ball over like crazy throughout the rest of his career, but it just took him a while to like figure it out. And, Josh didn't play a full season of his rookie season. And now he's only played in 12 of these games. You just have to give those guys time. And it's just hard whenever you have Shai, who has emerged as a superstar, and it's like, all right, where's his co-star? And you're like, oh, he's over there in a boot,
Mhm.
But Josh is going to be better. They are reworking his shot, and whether it works or not, who knows? Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe you hired Chip and he does all of his magic and it just doesn't work. I mean, that's a possibility, but you just have to give it time.
Yeah.
You have to give it more than 12 games. You honestly have to give it more than one season for it to actually like this to cement. Because I mean, we're still, you just have to remind yourself it's all about how these guys play when they get to their prime. You know, I mean, last season for the Celtics, it was the first year that they had the overlapping primes of Tatum and Brown. The first year. And they made the finals. The Thunder are years away from Shai and Chet and Giddey having their first year of overlapping primes. They are years away. And they're going to climb. And like the Celtics had great years before they got to last year. Like they had years where they were very competitive. And I think the Thunder will be the same, where they're going to have years prior to then that they will be very competitive. But you have to know that until probably Chet is 24, which we're 4 years away from that.
Yeah.
You know, and then Shai is going to be 27, 28. That's when it's like, oh, okay. That's what we're heading toward. And that's when everybody asks this, and we'll answer these questions, but like, when are the Thunder going to push that freaking button? Is it going to be now? Like, no. Nope. We can talk more about that later, but it's just
at the same time, like that does not mean that they're still tanking, right? Like
no.
The last 2 years they were tanking. We said that. We talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
We informed. I feel like, you know, we were really telling people early on, hey, it's going to be tanking for some years.
Yeah.
And I think it ended sooner than we even expected it to, just because Shai is Shai now.
Yeah.
Shai is him.
So do you think it's over?
Tanking? Yeah, I think
like
it's
tanking
over.
is,
It's over.
I mean,
They're trying to win games.
It depends on, I would say it depends on where they're at in February. Because if we get to February and they are 5 or 6 games below 500 and they're hovering around like 6th or 7th in the reverse standings, then you may see tanking again. I wouldn't rule that out just because of the talent at the top of this draft. And you look at what the Thunder have now, and you look at Chet, and you say, okay, we're not going to make the play in. This has been great. But if we pull the plug now, we may have the chance to be in the same place we were last year, where we have the 4th best lottery odds. Like, this is not impossible. It feels like it right now. But if that's where they are, once they get to February, that I could see levers being pulled.
If they go at this pace, though, right? They're a 500 team right now.
Yeah.
If they're 500 in February, if they're at 500, like one or two takeaway, then you just let it ride. Like
I just can't see them losing more than if it takes all the way to February and they're like, okay, let's start tanking. You're so far ahead of the Spurs and Houston and maybe the Lakers. I mean, we'll see what happens.
The Lakers stink.
Yeah. Golden State's probably going to start winning games again.
Yeah.
So it's like your best is 4th worst in the West.
Yeah. If you're looking league wide, here's the teams that are above the Thunder as far as lottery odds. Obviously, Detroit, Houston, probably going to be that way all season.
Yeah.
It's not surprising.
They're not. Yeah. You can plant them there.
You have the Lakers. I do think the Lakers make a move and probably, I would say, would end not at 3. Charlotte, I think Charlotte has the sneakiest chance to be the worst team in the NBA this year.
Yeah.
And I think they should. Like that's a perfect Wembanyama. That's the only team that I would be okay getting Wembanyama. Like I don't want Detroit. I don't want Houston. Like, hey, you had your shot. You've tanked now for 3 years. Time to move on. Orlando, I think Orlando will be right where kind of they are 5th best. But then you have San Antonio. I think they're obviously trending that direction. They're 2-8 in their last 10.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago's going to be better. Golden State's going to be better. Brooklyn, I think
they'll be better than they'll finish with a better record.
I think better.
Thunder.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was really meaning just what they are. Miami finished with a better record than the Thunder.
Yeah. Everyone else in the East.
And
the
then you're
East
tied. You got Minnesota, Philadelphia, they're all just right there. So it's like it's not unheard of that the Thunder could still finish 50%. They could still be 50%. What am I?
500.
There you go. Good Lord. My brain just shut her down.
50%.
They could be 50% of wins. All the wins, they could do 50 of them. And so they could be that way and still be kind of middling in that lottery,
Yeah. I mean,
you also, I didn't go to the other direction where it's like, all right, so which one of these teams in the top 15 would make their way fall? That would fall.
Indy's like the only clear one, right?
I still think Utah does. I mean, Utah's lost 3 in a row. Like, I wonder if some of the
They're not going to fall out that far though. Like they're going to be in the playoffs playing.
They could
out of playing.
It's possible.
They don't want to be there. You want to talk about who's going to pull some levers?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the next couple of weeks will tell a lot.
What about Sacramento, man? They've won 5 in a row.
They're in, baby. 8-6.
They're in like sin.
They're amazing. Championship.
Have
you seen the?
You think they'll have a parade for the play-in?
They should.
Playoff.
I would. Yeah. I would have so many lasers at that parade.
Oh man, dude, the laser is awesome.
The laser is awesome. It's so good. I wish the Thunder would do stuff like that. It's so cool.
I love it.
Fire the laser.
And like we'd be able to see it from far away here in Oklahoma. Like there's nothing getting in the way of the view of the laser.
Oh yeah, a big blue laser.
I could see it from my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wouldn't be so excited to see the big blue laser after a Thunder win?
I'd love
Would you do green for Paycom or would you do blue for Thunder?
You have to do blue. Don't do green.
They'll do yellow for freaking loves.
Guys,
yeah, don't make it sponsored. Yeah. Just have some integrity.
Laser.
Spotlight of Love's logo.
Yeah, exactly.
Just have some integrity.
My daughter would love that.
Don't do it. Just have some integrity. Make it blue. The Kings made it purple. You can do it too.
Purple is such a cool color to put up into the sky too. I know.
Does it make a noise? Does it make a sound like a lightsaber when a lightsaber turns on?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Thunder are in this zone where I don't know what they're going to be when we get to February, March. Like, are they going to be a team competing for the play-in? Is it possible? Yes. Is it also possible that they have the 6th best lottery odds and have a chance to jump up? Yes. I would lean toward the lottery odds at this point, not because of what I've seen this year, but just because of what we have seen in the past 2 years. But Shai has a chance to change that. So that's I think that's where we're at right now. All right, let's take a quick break. Right after that, we're going to do Tayshawn's factoid victory. And we're back after that quick break. It's time for Tayshawn's factoid.
Tayshawn's factoid victory. Tayshawn's factoid victory.
Hello, I'm Tayshawn. This is my factoid. This is from StatMuse. The Cavs have lost 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
They're 30th in defensive rating now.
Yikes.
They were 2nd before those 5 games.
Yikes.
So there's a team that... And they didn't, I know they haven't had Jarrett Allen, but they got like another player back. They got Garland back.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Garland has been kind of a traffic cone on defense.
He's just too small.
Yeah, but I mean, you've seen small players be able to defend.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, especially when you have the offensive load that Garland does. It's tough. And he's young too.
But what other teams can we see having like this this wide of a variance at level of play? Like, do you see any other teams kind of
they're 30th in defense in the last week? Is that what you're saying?
30th in defensive rating in the last 5 games, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're 6th overall.
Yeah,
in the league.
But are there other teams that you can see that are playing pretty well that we're like, oh wow, that's good? Obviously Utah, that could fall off.
Yeah, Utah is like at the top of that list.
Yeah,
I mean, Portland is another one that I think is, if we're going to try to find the team that you could say, okay, like maybe they fall off. They've won a lot of games they shouldn't have already this season. So that's a team. I mean, and then Indy is the other one who's above 500. They're 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Pacers, and that's the thing with this Pacers team as compared to the Thunder. Like the Pacers they're gonna let it ride no matter what, I think. Just because I think their ownership group and their management has always they prefer them. They're comfortable in the middle, you know. Like last year was the first time that they had been that high in the lottery ever. So that's another one.
I think there are more bad teams that will get better than teams that are playing well that will fall off.
Yeah, that's probably
like just going through. Obviously, the Jazz in the Western Conference are probably the most. Portland is the other one. I think you're right, Andrew. But you look beyond that, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how far you can go before you're like, well,
I can see a huge swing for Golden State. Like, they just need some other the way Steph's playing this year.
yeah, but going the opposite direction.
Right, going the opposite direction. So the way Steph's playing this year, it doesn't take that much for them. They just need like 1 or 2 players to play normal.
They just need to stop playing the young guys.
Well, like Jordan Poole has struggled. Like if he just plays normal, they probably start winning more games.
Well, he's playing with the young guys, though, is the problem. Like he's playing off the bench with that second unit, and they stink because they're young.
Yeah.
And they also young and also might not be good.
Yeah, they really might not be good.
Like Kuminga, I don't know. James Wiseman, obviously, they sent him to the G League. They say you're not even good enough to play in the NBA. Moses Moody, I have more faith in him than anybody else, just because he has translatable skills to this Warriors team with his shooting.
And Kuminga, it's only his second year. I mean, we have plenty of players on our team that
the same Giddey
their
speech goes for Kuminga too.
Yeah.
It's like it hasn't been that
and
long.
Poku, Andrew, look at what happened with Poku.
Hey,
we were done with him last year, or I was.
I wasn't.
I was.
A lot of people were done with him.
I'll never be done with you, Poku.
I was still wearing the Poku pack.
And now I'm realizing they were just breaking him like a horse. They had to break down all of his
tightening the screws.
They were like, dude, you're just not going to play. If you're going to do this, you're not going to play. You had to break him. They had to see if he's strong. Is he resilient? Turns out he's very resilient.
I mean, that is
Eastern European.
That's true.
Pretty resilient.
It's true.
As a people.
Yeah.
Ukraine.
It's true.
Not the same country Poku's from.
No.
Same area of the continent.
True.
You're doing great.
Thanks.
You should keep going.
Okay, that's all.
Take John's factoid figurimentary. Take John's factoid figurimentary.
I don't even know where Poku's from. Pokuland?
No, hold on. He's from the same place that Jokic is. I just got to remember what it is. It's not Serbia. It's not. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Let me spend the next 10 minutes of the podcast doing this.
It is Serbia. I'll just say that.
Well, that's what I meant to say.
It's not Serbia. It's the other Serbia.
Oh, it's Serbia.
Yeah, it's
Serbia.
The first time you said Zerbia. It's not Zerbia. You're right.
Yeah. Good job.
Twitter questions. You got questions and you ask them on Twitter. Now we answer them for you. This is Twitter questions. Now let's get down to it.
I would love if you just hit Luke's deep dive and he was here.
He just
and
walked
he just
in.
like didn't know. He just did a deep dive for 2 minutes and then left.
And then he was just gone. Yeah.
He can just send one in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could.
Luke's funeral is next Saturday, by the way. We'll put out the address.
He's in the Bahamas.
He's been there for weeks. So first off, we don't really know what's going to happen with Twitter. Nobody does. So we may have to get a new song. I don't know that Discord questions really.
Discord quit. Nope.
I think it might actually work. That was actually
Yeah,
kind of
that
good.
was pretty good.
I kind of liked that.
Same
so maybe
amount
we're
of
fine.
syllables.
So yeah, I think we're fine. But yeah, so you
What
can.
do we do?
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
What do we do?
Without Twitter? Like, I understand. Listen, Twitter's got problems just like everything else. But so let's just say this.
Yeah.
Twitter's problems do not come from the same things that everything else.
No. Everything has problems, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, everything does.
Like, nothing is flawless.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
So this podcast, I think it's fair to say that this podcast was built via Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, all of the NBA, I mean, some people wouldn't have jobs right now if it weren't for Twitter.
Woj.
Woj.
Wait,
What does
Woj?
Woj? What does Woj do with all of his millions?
That's
of
what I don't
followers?
know.
How do we find out news?
Discord.
It's not on the Down to Dunk Discord, which is like a nice place for community.
That's crazy because like Shams and Woj get paid their money because of Twitter.
I know.
Yeah.
What do they do? Do they?
There will be another platform that rises
Yeah, there will be.
from the ashes of Twitter. Mastodon.
I don't know if it's going to be like just a Twitter alternative. It might just be we start using a different platform in a new way.
Like
I don't know.
Insta?
Maybe it transforms. Maybe Instagram's
Reddit?
like, you know what? Let's add some new features. I mean, they've changed their platform a lot. It is not the same platform that we've had. But
I just kind of hope Twitter rebounds just because it's been great.
I know.
I just hope
it's home.
I just hope it gets sold. Like
I
that.
mean-
That would be so like the vindication where it's like he bought it for 44 million and then had to sell it.
Billion.
$1 billion. And then which is everybody's like, Twitter's not worth that, right?
And he's like, whatever.
Yeah, but I got
Whatever. I don't know.
And the court's like, no, you have to buy it now. You already signed the contract.
And then he sold it for like 10 billion or 4 billion or 50 million.
It's terrible.
I'll buy Twitter.
It's terrible.
How much you got?
Not a lot.
I'll put some in.
$12.50.
I bet between
$12.
$12.50. That's my offer.
All right.
Final offer.
take it or leave it, Elon.
I wouldn't know how to run it. I would also burn it to the ground. because
No,
I wouldn't
man,
know
you
what to
just
do.
Yeah,
give
but
it
the
to
difference
people
would
that
be-
know what they're doing. Like, just don't be involved.
I
in
would
it.
honestly have to fire people all the time too.
Yeah.
You just start panicking, firing
If
people.
I saw my name popped up on the Slack, I was fired. You're out. All right. Our first Twitter.
Please don't talk about me. You're
No,
fired.
no, you're
Fired.
done.
No,
I'm too fragile. Fired.
Please don't. I only bought this for $12.50.
Yeah.
Why do you expect so much?
I'm wildly unqualified for this.
None of you are getting paid. I don't know how this works. Just record podcasts. I just talk into a microphone and then this is my job.
They're
Okay.
like, why did you buy this then? Fired.
You're
Get
fine.
out of
Just
here.
shut up. Add 69 and then some. Oh my gosh. That is quite a handle. This is another reason why I don't want Twitter to go away, because of handles like this.
You just read shit and then you don't. Sorry, crap. And then you don't even know.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. We need to take it
Whoa.
down. Sorry.
Okay.
Not
Should
in
we
control.
trade our picks for an overpriced all-star or let Presti work his magic and keep overlapping primes perpetually?
At
Can
some
you read
point
that again? I didn't even.
At some
hear
point,
it.
there will be a consolidating trade. At some point, and they're already doing this. We've seen it with multiple picks in the last two drafts. I do think at some point they're going to find. I would not expect it to be.
Like, what star would be available?
I don't know if it's going to be an all-star, but I think you will see the addition of helpful role player, like not Jay Crowder himself today.
Yeah.
But how many times was Jay Crowder available over the last 5 years? And he's the piece that made a difference in Phoenix. He's the piece that made a difference for some of those Jazz teams. Like that's the kind of move that I would expect more than maybe this home run we got Donovan Mitchell pick.
But you also have to recognize that they have the ammo to go.
They do.
To go after the big name player.
Yeah.
When it's time to, and they didn't at the time of the overlapping primes of Westbrook Durant. This is why Sam has been saying to everybody he negotiates trades with, as far out as possible. Picks as far away from today as possible.
Yeah.
And then people are like, why? Like, is he recruiting middle schoolers? You know, it's just, no, it's because he knows that Shai and Giddey and Chet and everybody else, and he didn't know he was going to have Giddey and Chet, but that's who he got. He knew that they weren't going to be ready to win for years. And so let me have all the extra picks whenever those guys are ready to win. And then maybe, I don't know who it would be, somebody. I mean, it was kind of shocking if 2 years ago you say, yeah, Donovan Mitchell's going to get traded.
Right.
You know, you would have been like, no way. Like, this Jazz team is set up to be good for a long time. Why would they trade him? You know, you wouldn't have said the Jazz are going to blow up 2 years ago. Like, no one would have said that. So you just don't know. The NBA changes so fast. Teams change so fast that you hope that this Thunder team stays together. And that
I mean,
by the time you get there, it's like
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, you just don't know.
And he's disgruntled, which he already is, but like that could be it. Or I'm trying to think of other guys that are out there that you'd be fired up about. But
Bull.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
I mean, yeah, we just have no clue who it's going to be. But I would say
Cade Cunningham.
that they'll have the ammo to go get pretty much whoever they want. Plus, if you're still developing a lot of these younger guys in the background, you could package a couple of those guys together, 4 or 5 picks, and go get whoever you want. Because that's what it took to get Mitchell.
Yep.
So they're going to have a chance to do that. But I will say it's not today. It's not this season. I don't care if they're 10 games above 500 at the trade deadline. The Thunder are going to sit on their hands, and they should. This is not the year to go for it. This is not the year to fortify the team. This is not the year to do any of that. This is the year to sit back, see what develops, give these guys experience, and let it ride.
What about Evan Mobley?
If Evan Mobley suddenly became available and they were
3
like,
years from now.
yeah, I mean,
He's annoyed. He doesn't like the ownership.
yeah, it'd be great.
I'm just saying.
I just, based on the brand this person with this Twitter handle is trying to create for themselves, I was not expecting this kind of question and this kind of conversation to come out of it. And I really respect that.
It's a very respectable. This is why, if we're looking for one reason why Twitter shouldn't go away,
Right.
it's because of @69 and then some.
Yeah, I really respect this.
Yeah. At New Age Thunder, is Josh getting benched because of defensive effort? I think sometimes he is, yes. But I also think that other times he's just turning the ball over like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the other thing that Mark has proven time and time again this year is he goes with who he thinks is the right person at the time in the game.
Yeah.
And Giddey wasn't in it against the Wizards. And so who did they go with? Lindy Waters. And J-Dub played a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
Particularly towards the end of the game. And so he just is riding with you cannot Mark's rotation this season is just outside of Shai and Dort. Everybody else, it's like he just throws names in a hat and he's like, how about Isaiah Joe gets 20 minutes today?
Yeah.
God, isn't that
Jay Will played against the Wizards for 6 minutes or whatever? Like,
yeah,
that makes them being on track to be around a 500 team even more impressive to me.
Yeah, just
it's like what other team can just do this and they kind of play the same? No,
I think they've had 9 different starting lineups in 14 games.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we're ignoring
and not injury related, really. Sometimes, kind of, but not really.
We're ignoring the fact that Trey Mann and Darius Baisley, which I know Baisley, he's a much maligned player.
Oh, he's maligned, all right.
He's maligned.
Oh gosh,
by a certain group of Thunder fans.
Actually, I mean, but for me, Trey Mann maybe was trending towards, if he shot a better percentage, obviously, but he was playing really well within this team.
Yeah, I mean, you look at
that's a big loss.
You look at his on-offs. I mean, it's one of the best numbers on the team. It's Muscala is a plus 14.8, which is kind of mind-blowing. It must have just been on the court for the correct runs there because it's only 163 minutes. But Shai's plus 13.8, Wiggins is plus 11, and then Trey's plus 10. Those are basically your 3 best.
So the fact that he's been out now, it feels like 7 games, but I know it hasn't been. But the fact that he's been out, Baisley, like I said, but he does do some stuff defensively.
Blah, 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 qualifier, next player.
But you know what I'm saying? Like the fact that those guys haven't been out there, I don't know.
Yeah, Baisley is a plus 6.7. So
take that down to dunk.
Take that, me. OKC obstinacy. With SGA's recent performance, has he cemented himself a spot on the Thunder Mount Rushmore, assuming he keeps this up?
Oh, yeah.
Or would he need to do more to surpass guys like Paul George, Chris Paul, or Ibaka?
Dude, no.
He's already passed Paul George.
He's past Paul George.
He's actually passed Paul George in Thunder scoring, too.
So how many people were 4? 1, 2, 3?
Yeah,
4?
you got 4.
Yeah, 4 presidents.
Katie Russ,
Shai. Isn't he third?
Yeah. And Collison.
And then Nick Collison. Yeah. Because we like Nick Collison.
I guess.
Yeah, we just like him.
Yeah.
He had blood
would
dripping
be
down
the-
his face.
I mean, the only retired number.
Yeah, you can't be
By
the only
default.
retired number and not be on
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I'd also just like to put Melo up there just for fun.
Sure. go
Yes.
ahead.
Just as a reminder to everybody in the whole wide world.
That's my
Carmelo-
favorite moment in
Carmelo
Thunder
Anthony.
history.
Yeah, Carmelo Anthony wore a Thunder jersey, by the way.
Yeah.
Not Western Conference Finals, not the NBA Finals.
No.
Melo,
Melo getting traded
the
to
press
the Thunder.
conference
Yeah.
before the season.
Yeah.
Highlight of my entire Thunder fandom.
It was great.
That's not
God,
true.
that
by
was
the way,
weird.
Before
That-
I get blasted.
Put him in the
out
Mount
there.
Rushmore.
You know what that team feels like now? That team feels like when a really huge band is touring and they just come into the city and play like one night.
Mm-hmm.
Or like when that Mumford and Sons tour was randomly in Guthrie. And there was like so many people.
The hottest
there
day of my
for-
life.
the hottest day of my life.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But it was like 2 days of this doesn't even feel like Oklahoma. Like this
Yeah,
is
where
weird that
am
this
I?
music festival.
What is this?
And then it's gone. That's what that team feels like.
But yeah, he's on the Mount Rushmore along with Carmelo Anthony.
Can we just so we talked about this just the other day. That Guthrie show,
Mm-hmm.
there was one tree
Yep. There's one tree,
Mm-hmm.
and
on
everyone
the
was under
entire
it.
property, and all 20,000 people were trying to get underneath it
Yeah.
because it was so hot.
Yeah.
We did mention James Harden as a part of the Mount Rushmore, though.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
He was pretty good.
He was pretty good, but it's one of those things where it's like you don't.
You can put him up there.
I'm talking about the fourth spot, not ahead of SGA. I think
Yeah.
SGA has clearly had a better.
When you
Thunder
think
tenure.
of like,
I'm just going to put Chet up there preemptively.
okay,
Wow, Poku,
Oh, he's my.
my Poku.
I was going to say he's on my Mount Rushmore, but he's not really.
he's mounting me.
He's fun.
Next question comes from @Sam_Mark_Kelly. Rank the roster by who you believe in most long term.
Okay, Shai,
Shai, J-Dub.
Chet.
He's not my number 2, but he's up there.
Okay, well, you have to do them in order.
Oh, rank.
Rank.
Okay, got you.
This isn't in order, but it's my ranking.
who I believe in the most.
Shai,
Shai,
Giddey.
Shai. I mean, Chet is a part of it too.
Yeah.
For me, Shai, Chet, Giddey. Then who's next?
Probably Dort.
Wow. I put J-Dub next.
Okay. Who
I
you
love-
believe in long term?
Yes.
Dort is a very valuable player.
I
for
think
this
he is
team
too.
long
I
term.
just think that J-Dub has a higher ceiling than him.
Yeah.
J-Dub can
I
J-Dub can
I would agree
play.
with that.
He can play multiple positions. I think he will be able to shoot it.
Yeah, it feels like he's improving. I don't know if the statistics bear that out, but it definitely feels like he's
I don't think
better in the last few games than he has been. I think he's better in that one moment that I paid attention than all those other moments. where I
He
didn't
passes
pay
the
attention.
eye test, that's for sure. I don't know what it is.
I need him to get rid of the
Statistics
mask. Some people, the mask works, not for J-Dub.
No, it squeezes his hair.
Yeah, I
Yep.
agree.
It's not good.
I
no
really
mask.
like what I've seen from him, though, man. He needs to finish a little bit better at the rim, too. Like he's trying to work some of that high off the backboard finishes, and it's just not in his bag yet.
I think he's gonna get it though.
Oh, dude, I think that I'm with you. Like 100%. He's the one that I have out of all of the guys they just drafted outside of Chet, I guess. But
I don't know. He's 76%
At the rim?
0 to 3 feet.
wow.
Oh, Jay, you wrong.
Yeah, well, I want him to. I just expect better than that.
He needs
Yeah.
100.
I need 100%,
That's
Yeah.
good.
110%.
Really, and then the only two zones he's not shooting well is from 3, 28%, and then from 3 to 10 feet.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
38,
come on,
38%.
3 to 10%.
Oh, when we said three,
Feet.
when we said three, you meant 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Finishing at the 3-pointer line.
You guys know.
Rim.
okay. J-Dub and then Dort for me.
Okay.
And
Do
then
we need to do more?
I mean,
I mean, are you going like Wiggins, JRE?
yeah. I mean,
That's
all
where
those
I am.
guys are.
I'm in on Wiggins too. Wiggins, I,
like-
think's right
I
there
like
too.
Wiggins a lot. I also
Jerry.
Jang too is somebody that we have to think about who did not play well Wednesday for the Blue. It was not good.
This has to be based on, I think, a little bit more than just potential, though. You know, like Jang, I can see it. This is who you believe in long term, right?
Yeah.
So Jang, it's let's see some more.
Yeah, we definitely need to see more. But there's some stuff there with him. He has good court vision. He's really tall, and moves like he's 6'6" and not 6'11". So I don't know. There's a lot to like there. I mean, you think about the trajectory that Poku's been on. If Jang can be on that Poku trajectory over the next 2 seasons.
I mean, what they've done with Poku now
Feel
makes
really
me
good.
believe they can do anything with anyone.
I know. It really does make you believe that anything is possible with this team and with
Yeah, it's
what
like,
they do.
is this the best developmental team in the league?
Give me a year to answer that question.
Okay. Because who's the other one? The Heat.
The Heat are very, very good. I mean, there's a lot of good teams that have done a lot of really good stuff. I mean, it just depends on the situation, though. I mean, you look at Golden State's done a good job
Golden
too.
State.
But the only reason that Jordan Poole got the giant contract that he did was because he had that year to develop and just screw up the whole entire year, and they didn't care. You think that Jordan Poole could develop on this team like that? No, because Kuminga can't and James Wiseman can't. They don't have room for them to screw up. You know, that's part of the thing. And the developmental minutes, that will start changing for the Thunder too in the next few years when they are trying to win games. It's just harder to develop players whenever you have expectations.
And maybe that's an argument in favor of the Heat being the number 1 team, because it's like they stay good and still develop these players.
They're just fine guys. I just don't know how they do it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
At A Kennedy Drums, if this is truly who Shai is, do you think he could win the MVP once his team is fully formed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have said you were an idiot to say yes to that question 5 weeks ago. But this player, yes, could definitely win the MVP.
Yeah, I mean, he already has the stats for MVP. He just need his team to be, if they were a top 4 seed, he had these stats.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
At Alkaramazov. That's right. Why do you think Poku was benched yesterday? Other than one errant pass, I thought that he was playing fine. Am I wrong?
What? Wasn't that the game he rolled his ankle?
No.
Or is that Boston?
No. Yeah, he rolled his ankle in Boston.
Oh, okay.
I think he just wasn't playing physical enough. And Mark does not allow Poku to go through long stretches where he's not playing a physical brand of basketball. He shot the ball well. I agree. Like, I think that you could have let it ride with Poku, but he obviously, I mean, you look at the guys that he went to with like Kenrich and Wiggins and those guys, like, yeah, he's looking for physicality.
Yeah.
And he and Giddey just weren't providing it. And so he pulled them both. And with the hopes that in this next game against the Grizzlies, that he gets a more physical brand of basketball from both of them and that they both play well.
And they're going to need them to play that way against Memphis.
Memphis is good. No Bane, though.
Yeah.
Which is kind of that's a really big deal.
That is a big deal.
It's a really big deal for them. At AF Drums, we had a lot of drummers here. If we win around 35 games this year and knowing Chet will be added next year, does Presti package a group of picks? Where to answer this question? To go get a young star add to what we have? No, they don't. He said if it were his choices, though, Zion, Hero, or even trading up in the draft. Trading up in the draft is always going to be an option. I don't think Zion will be available. I don't think Tyler Hero will be available either. But I also just don't know that Hero's like necessarily the kind of guy that you want, because he likes to have the ball in his hands. Like, he's not like a Klay Thompson like shooter. Like, there's a reason that he comes off the bench a lot for the Heat, is so that he can kind of do his thing.
Well, I think with OKC too, like your best players are going to come from within the organization. Yeah, you're not going to trade for one of your top 3 guys. Yeah. I think when you're really good, then you can trade for veterans, or maybe younger than veterans, and these guys to fill roles and to just make your stars better or free them up some. But I don't think you're going to trade for one of your top guys.
Yeah. Although they could.
Yeah, they could. I mean, I guess they did trade for Paul George. So
they did trade for Paul George. So, and you just wonder, I won't do it. Next one at Puke Co Jam. Rank these players in order of March 23rd minutes played. So in March, not March 23rd, March
What?
23.
Oh,
On March 23rd,
like
who's
I
going to play
don't
the most?
remember. Why would you
No.
ask me that?
In March, in this upcoming March, who's going to play the most? Lindy, Shai, J-Dub, Baisley, or someone currently not on the roster? I think the hope is that it's Shai, J-Dub, Baisley, Lindy, or really, I think Bays might be traded, so I'd put Bays at the end of this. So Shai, J-Dub, Lindy, and then maybe whoever they get in trade.
Yeah.
Is probably what I would guess today. But there's a chance that it is like J-Dub, Lindy, Shai, somebody that's not on the roster. So, but I'll predict that Shai is playing. I think that's way more fun. At Alex_Bowlerjack, what's the best way to serve potatoes?
God, this is a really good question. Maybe the best question we've got all pod.
That's a good one.
Obviously, you can go with sliced and fried, also called fries.
They're good.
I love a good scallop potato.
Yeah.
You can have bad scallop potatoes very easily, though.
Yeah.
So let's leave that on.
Too
that
runny.
side. Yeah, you can have them like not undercooked too easily.
Yeah.
You know.
And there's like a crunch, and you're like, yeah, I don't want the crunch.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
It's not ready.
Yeah.
Mashed.
A good mashed potato.
Do you prefer mashed over fried?
No.
No. Fries are probably going to be number one.
I think it's got to be number one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good with crinkle cut. Good.
All fries are good. But and then like you have baked potatoes, a double baked potato,
twice baked.
Excuse me.
Very good.
Very good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I haven't had one of those in a long time.
Those are awesome.
Are very good.
Those are awesome, man.
But probably French fries.
Yep.
Probably the number one way. At Red Sox
Great
Reavers,
question.
Would you rather see a 55-point game from Shai or a 35-point game from Poku?
55 from Shai.
A 35 from Poku would feel awfully good.
That's a fever dream. 55 from Shai is like
55 from Shai would be like, yeah,
yeah.
We knew this. We knew this was going to happen.
Right.
35 from Poku would almost be more vindicating for myself and my own personal podcast brand. So selfishly, I think I would pick 35 from Poku.
I understand that.
Yeah.
That would feel like, well, that was the 135-point game that we get from him then, you know? Glad we got to see it. It was like a comet.
Okay, but do I get to choose the opponent?
Sure.
And whether it was a win or a loss?
Yeah, it's definitely going to come in a loss. No, it'll come in a win.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
35,
if it's 35 and a loss, then it just doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
If Shai gets 55 in a loss, does it matter?
I mean, think about how much the 50-point loss from Curry felt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Garland had 51 and they lost.
Mm-hmm.
And they were not celebrated. The 59-point game from Joel Embiid was like celebrated because they, not only because it was ridiculous, but because they won the game.
Yeah.
Garland that same night scored 51 and nobody talked about it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I didn't even know that until I was looking at the box score.
And it's because they lost.
Yeah.
So give me the 35-point game from Poku, and like who would I want them to beat most? I mean, if they beat
Dallas,
I mean, they've already played Milwaukee. What if they beat Phoenix in Phoenix and Poku scores 35 and leads the team to the win?
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy.
That would feel good. Or what if it's tonight in Memphis?
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
That would, okay, I'll take tonight in Memphis, 35 from Poku and a win.
What are his what's his shot chart looking like? Also, I need some dunks, okay? Poku, I know that you're dunking, but you're not dunking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's more placing it in there.
Yes, he's placing the ball from above the hoop.
It's like you would put an apple into a basket.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know if, and maybe that's been beaten out of him too, because maybe he's not strong enough to hold the ball and dunk hard.
I think he could do it. That's just not in his nature.
Yes, I know.
9 made threes. Couple dunks.
9 made threes.
Yeah.
9 of 9.
9 of 9. That would feel so good. I'd be dancing around my house tonight if that happened.
So 27 of his 35 points come from threes. and then the others are free throws because you're like, what? How were you even aggressive enough to get to the line?
And how are you actually
8
making your free
times?
throws? Because he's like 50% from the free throw
That'd
line.
be amazing.
Yeah, that is my choice. Although, also a 50 point game from Shai tonight against Ja and winning in Memphis would also feel pretty good.
That would really just put the cherry on top of the Sunday that is this week.
Yeah.
You know, like that would solidify.
The fact that you can listen to like the Hoop Collective and all these podcasts and like Shai is leading it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Shai's leading Sports Center. I assume that he did. I don't watch Sports Center.
He's been making a lot of like really big national shows.
Yeah, it would mean a lot. So to me, random podcaster guy, I would take Poku, but I think the fan base at large would prefer the 50 point from Shai. And tonight in Memphis, that would be the one. That would be the game, wouldn't it?
You know, it would be. And I'm just thinking of this world where actually it's not like Shai gets 40, but Poku gets 35.
Yeah.
And you know how earlier we were talking about national guys, they think like maybe Poku is like this guy for OKC. If it was like it just like really becomes this, there's already such a large gap between like what we know about this team as OKC fans and what the national guys know about this team.
Yeah.
And if it becomes the national narrative is Shai and Poku are leading OKC to 500.
Yeah.
That would just be so funny to me.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Like all the smart guys just talking about Poku all the time.
Having to talk about being forced to talk about Poku. That's another
but like
reason why I want
liking it, you know?
Yeah.
Like Poku is actually one of this best.
Yeah, everybody take back those takes that you had 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Throw them in the garbage. At Girardi, do we think there's any connection between losing Bays over the last few games and the team's defensive rating tanking? We've seen opponents go ballistic from 3 without him patrolling the perimeter. Totally possible the offense is better without him too. Yeah, the offense has been really good. I don't think Baisley is the catalyst for either one. I think what's the catalyst is the shooting is definitely part of it. He was good defensively.
Yes.
And so I don't want to discount that. But I don't think that he's the reason that they've fallen from the top to the bottom in defense. Because over the last 5 games, they've been one of the best. They've been the 3rd best offense.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've been I think they're 25th in defense. I don't think that he's the reason why for all of it. I think that he's certainly a piece of the puzzle, though.
Definitely. And when he's on the court, the offense, it just the way he plays, and he has been good this year.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers say that they've won the minutes that he's been on the court.
Yeah.
So it's irrefutable. I mean, he's been pretty good. I still don't think he's long for this team, but maybe you actually get a decent 2nd round pick for him or something.
Mm-hmm.
All right. At _DP Mont, explain to me why we would tank for Wembanyama when we already have Himbanyama. What do you think about the him puns?
I'm kind of over it.
Himmy Carter?
Yeah, I didn't really understand it. I think that was just the only guy he could think of that him worked.
The only president.
Yeah, because I was like, what? I was thinking, wonder if there's some deeper meaning. Like, does he really like Jimmy Carter? I was like, no, I think it's just Jimmy around Himmy.
He's
works with Jimmy.
Yeah, he's really into peanuts, maybe.
Yeah, that could be it.
Jimmy was a peanut farmer.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Do you know that I've met Jimmy Carter? You know this?
No.
My father-in-law is he was in this Jimmy Carter club for years. No joke.
Dork.
It's a big dorky thing, and it's awesome. But once a year, they go to Jimmy was born in Plains, Georgia. It's this little bitty town of just basically like peanut farmers. And once a year, everybody goes to the Peanut Festival in Plains, Georgia. And Jimmy is there. And they have this dinner with Jimmy Carter every year.
Is it all peanut-based foods?
No, not at like the dinner. No.
Huh.
But there's a lot of peanut stuff. Like Mr. Peanut is there.
Yeah, cool.
With the cane and the monocle.
Weird. This is really weird.
I went one year to this peanut festival and to the dinner and met him, and it was amazing. I was like I was on a different planet.
Did you travel out to Plains just for the just for this event?
Yeah.
Huh.
Flew into Atlanta, drove out to Plains. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
So I shook hands with Hemi Carter before.
So you liked the Hemi Carter thing? I liked it.
It's funny. It's honestly very funny. And
It
the
is.
fact that he took his Wikipedia page and took a screenshot of it and put it on his Instagram just to make sure that for all the youngins know what he's talking about was hilarious.
I love that for Gen Z being educated.
Do you think Shai would care that I've met Jimmy Carter if I told him about it?
Yeah, I think you should tell him about it. I really do. I think you should. I think you should tell him that story you just told me. And I think he'll be really interested.
He might like it.
Yeah.
He might like it. Or he'll just be very courteous to me because he's Canadian. And
Yeah.
just a nice guy. Last question at Peterman33. Has there been a better time than now to wear the Down to Dunk Too Good to Tank t-shirt?
Yeah, it's too literal and obvious now. I think what I liked about that t-shirt was it was like kind of sarcastic too.
Oh, it definitely was sarcastic. Like that's why we made it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
because
funny.
people were mad at us at the time
Mhm.
about us saying that they were tanking and then they were winning games early on. And now it does feel like it's taken 2 years for this joke to become true.
Yeah, it's not. I think the time has passed because it's too obvious.
Yeah,
You know,
but they are too good to tank.
they are. Yes.
Truly. Maybe. Might be. All right. Are you miffed and are you peeved?
Miffed and peeved.
Are you miffed and are you peeved?
God, I don't know. I'm kind of grateful I'm Gene Beat right now.
Okay.
Not about anything
Not about-
specifically. I'll be honest. I haven't been able to stay till the end of the pod in a long time.
I know.
And I haven't thought about this.
Wow.
I haven't. Also, I have a new baby. Like, I haven't considered my feelings
Yeah.
in about 3 months.
Wow. Well, you should take some stock.
Yeah, I should.
My hot water heater died last week.
Oh no!
So I had
of
to-
course.
Started leaking and then eventually just died. And so I had to replace it. And so I called my plumber and like, hey man, like how much is this going to cost me? And he told me, and I was like, that's a lot of money. And so I went and bought the hot water heater myself somewhere. Ended up saving myself about $400.
Dude, I wish there was an easy way to go back through all of our miffed and peeves
Yeah.
and see what percentage of your miffed and peeves are like house or car related, because I feel like we're at 75% of your miffed and peeves have to do with.
I've been a homeowner the entire time we've done the pod. So
Yeah.
like, that's probably why. It's because there's always something that goes
I
wrong.
love the theme.
It's always something that goes wrong.
Yeah.
We should be. No, I'm not even going to say it because
Nope.
something's going to happen. All right. Thanks so much for listening to our podcast. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Subscribe to our show on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Down to Dunk, hit subscribe. You can watch us live. You can comment along, just like these other people right now, just like Jimmy Woodpecker and P. Fenimore and
Kimmy
Adam
Woodpecker.
and Adam Brandt and Koopa Scoop and Miguel de Vella. All these people are in the stream. Ali88, Michael Clampett, Billy Skillern, Evan Riggs, all hanging out in the stream. You could also hang out with us in the stream if you subscribe to us on YouTube and watch us on YouTube. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the 35-point night from Poku. I want to talk to you guys again.
We talked about that so much. I'm kind of expecting it. Like I'm
know.
going to be watching.
I know.
for him
I want to
score.
actually. I won't even be excited when it happens. I'm just expecting it to happen.
Yeah.
Talk to you guys again on Monday.